And of course, as always, we want everybody to know that whatever is discussed on the show is the opinion of our guests and don't necessarily reflect our official policy. Although I do have to say, if we say something, maybe it does reflect something for me and or myself. And so don't. Somebody says something bad or politically incorrect, don't hold us to them in perpetuity. Or if we say something politically incorrect, it's not our fault. To just post a question, and we've got some questions we've written down. But today is an open show and open forum, and we'll just run with it. And of course, thank you for joining us. And today we're going to try and sell you whatever we can sell you. What the heck?
You had a really good comment. Product knowledge is something that I could see improving if there was a move away from commission sales. The customer wins. The salesperson, obviously would then be better prepared because they're not panicked about, I got to make a living, right? I mean, when you think about Best Buy or Apple or whatever, they're not really incentivized that much to sell 20 iPads, even though there might be some sort of bonus. They're doing it because they believe in the brand, right? And which I think is the same reason people do it at Tesla, right? They're selling Teslas not to make money. They're doing it because they believe in the brand, right?
And when Best Buy went away from their commission basis,
yeah,
I know I can speak for it. The customer service went up huge. You can now go in and find somebody and talk to them. They're not out back having a smoke. And there's no money in TV, so there's nobody standing in the TV section. They're all standing in the warranty department.
Yeah.
But now they've got these people and they're all very educated. They know their stuff. They're willing to help you. They'll answer your stupidest question in the world and they'll sell the product. And that's just their job. The other ones moved away. I don't know where they went, maybe to the car business, but
the brick.
Right?
The never brick plan, you mean? Yeah. They chase you around the store in the brick.
Well, Stephen, just so you know, up here, there's a furniture chain called The Brick. And they're not nationwide. There's a few stores in probably some northern states. And I can't think of a furniture place down in your neck of the woods, only because I just don't know them. But it might as well be a car dealership. Literally, they turn salespeople over every week. You walk in and you ask them what's so good about that sofa. They don't know. And as somebody said, everybody has the same experience. You walk in the door, somebody walks up to you with a clipboard, goes, "Hi," and then you just say, "Just looking," and they follow you 15 feet behind you everywhere you go.
Well, because their structure, Jeff, is the fact that is your customer. And if you don't, it's not the fact they buy, they don't buy or anything. You own that human being, that up, whatever you want to call it, until they walk out of the store. And you're back in line again, and you better make that one work.
Yeah, every week the Brick has the biggest sale of the year. It's laughable.
Yeah.
The tent sale.
The best sale of the year every week. Lowest prices.
Yeah, they're like the carpet going out of business sale.
You know what? All I can think of, first of all, two comments. First comment I can make, how do you lose a car dealer or a car salesman from your conversation? Use the word algorithm. Because that's what all the trainers come in and teach us. Dealer socket, dealer FX, excuse me, Ian, sorry. Yeah. Everybody comes in and says, well, we have, and I'm using my best Midwestern accent, we have these great algorithms that sit there and search everything for you, that we can make this thing happen for you guys. Yeah. And the second thing, though, is everything we're talking about here today is described by the badger.
I'm gonna get me one today.
Did you see
I don't know what the Johnson Group spent on that, but the stickiness of that campaign has been amazing.
What's funny is a new one. There's some group that's got a new one that looks like the Herb Tarlek, the car salesman or something. They're doing.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Yeah. We used to handle them at Carfax, and the guy that was the rep that dealt with them. One time I was in a meeting and I was telling them how great, and they were like, "Yeah, it's great, but nobody knows who we are." Like, everybody in the car business remembers how funny the Badgers ad, but you're the first person. I've asked people, "Well, what dealer was it?" And they're like, "Oh, I have no idea."
Oh my God!
I've ever heard that actually knew the name of the dealership, and they're like, "Yeah, we spent all this money. It was great. All the car people loved it, but Nobody remembered who we were.
What about the trunk monkey? What about the
Love the trunk monkey.
trunk monkey is great.
But it's
Yeah,
it's true though, like to your point, Stephen, to be able to pivot on spending that money and be able to build on it, because somebody pulled the budget too soon. They built it, they did fantastic, but if they would have stuck with it another 6 months and ran with it, they would have actually got some traction. And then then the viral part of it comes out, and all that stuff happens, right? So
Well, that's what Car Gurus is basically doing, is they're building on that. They're saying, okay, do you hate these things? Whether it's Car Gurus or Carvan or whatever, they're basically building on that negative cloud and saying, listen, why would you want to do it that way? It's so old school. I mean, to your point about the Smithsonian, like there's a great opportunity for a car dealership. Like the reason we change things is because of this, right? Like I was in this museum and I saw my car dealership and I said, that's not my car dealership anymore. Right?
But you listen to our comments and you discover, and Stephen, you were bang on here. We aren't any different today. Except right now we have COVID and you have to ring a doorbell or call somebody to let you in. And Apple, I don't know, Apple's what, the second most valuable company after Amazon? Yeah. They got some nice clean cut kid out front.
Who knows what they're talking about?
Yeah, I'm starting to see a lot of guys looking like Barry, that are at the Apple stores, handsome.
You're that old now?
Handsome 30-year-olds. Yeah. But, actually I'm seeing guys that look more like me there. And they're talking words I don't understand, but you walk in and yes, they're in a mall, but who cares? But you come up and somebody greets you before you enter the door. And in the old days, they greeted you at the door. They didn't say, oh, there's a salesman, my up. And somebody comes running out to you and two people tripping over each other.
But it's
funny,
because if you look at Microsoft, granted, I don't think they execute as well, but at least they had, some sort of execution there, right? There's nothing to say you couldn't take that concept, Tesla, Rivian, whatever you want to call it, and make it into a store. And I think they're 100% right when it comes to smaller stores. You don't need these massive Taj Mahals full of cars. Like, nobody wants to look at your entire inventory in one place. Like, nobody, right? They want to look at the one or two cars they might be interested in, maybe, right? I mean,
I think it's a great conversation because I think the other thing we're starting to see is like GM and Ford I think started it, but a while ago these manufacturers had two cars. They had a big car, they had a small car, and they had an SUV, whatever. And now they got 87 different models everywhere in between. And you got $1.50 between them all. And the consumers and then Toyota says, well, shit, if they're doing it, I got to do it, and it just doesn't end, right? So I think there's a couple of things that really our industry needs to fix, and it starts with the customer service experience, and helping that customer actually walk them into the product.
Well, look at the Kia store. There's a Kia store a couple blocks away from me. They had a new car showroom, and then now they're having an EV showroom they're building. So they're going to have like a customer experience EV showroom. So I think it's interesting if as they switch to EV, will they learn? That's the question, because EV is going to definitely impact ROs and service business, and it's definitely going to impact customers because the cars are quite expensive. So are you providing that highlight experience, say at a Kia or a Hyundai store, where you're selling a bunch of electrics, or Volkswagen? I mean, Volkswagen just made this deal for batteries, but there's going to be a big change in the cars that are available, right, for these companies.
And I think the EV buyer is a more savvy and has higher expectations than what most car dealerships are giving right now too. I would say we don't do a lot of electric out here just because of our climate, but I would say that that's a big part of that. More of an early adopter, looking for that experience, not necessarily the product, but the experience.
That's Vancouver for you in a nutshell, because there's more take-hands on the road here right now than there are in the city of Vancouver than there are F-150s. And they're $200,000 a pop.
Well,
the final thing I want to make on this is the reason that we keep doing what we keep doing in this business is it keeps working.
Yeah.
Well, we keep getting away with it.
Right.
Good point. Good point.
But so I was gonna just to kind of bounce off that, Jeff, a little bit. I was gonna say, so you take the money, you set it up, and you do everything, and you got your trained people, and they're not on commission, and all the things we've talked about over the last, and it's been a great conversation, guys. Thank you very much. But all those things, and then your guy across town is cutting you by $1,000 a car. How long does it take before you start saying, well, I do have to move some inventory at some point. I can't run a Goldilocks dealership and not sell cars.
Or it's $200 a car, forget $1,000.
Whatever, just whatever it is, right? And that's where we always get in trouble, is at some point, somebody has to say, we're either all in or we're